Hello everybody, this is Richard Cespedes and I want to upload a video here. I'm just here relaxing with my Himalaya light up crystal here that I relax to and meditate to sometimes and do my psychokinesis with. If you see my videos on YouTube, practice with the side wheels, especially around this. And I wanted to talk about the very nature of how we need to rethink psychokinesis and how to reapproach it, how we need to face it for the reality of what it is. And psychokinesis to me is basically a very relaxed, chilled hobby. It's something that you do on your downtime, something that you do to relax, to spend your time and to become enlightened and to connect with your world and everything. Yeah, but what it is that it's something that's both it's extraordinary but ordinary at the same time. It's like learning how to draw or learning how to read and write or sculpt with clay or things like that. At first, we look at it, we look at others doing it, and we're amazed. But as time passes, we learn how to do it too, and it becomes something of a skill. So the reason why I thought of that was because I started thinking about how like the older people that do psychokinesis, how well they're doing. They're progressing very well, and it got me thinking of like how we need to think about it. We can't get ahead of ourselves. We can't think of ourselves as trying to be like Superman or Goku or like the Matrix Neo. We have to think of it in terms of what it really is, and we can reach those levels, but it has to come in a very slow, steady pace. But it takes a long time, and it's kind of meant for us to be like that, and kind of not. It's kind of depends. But I saw Trevor Seven and a lot of other psychonetics like Max Sidney. He's real good, and Trevor Seven, and they're older, and they tend to excel very, very good. And what I've come to realize is that they're from an era where they didn't have a lot of technology to entertain them. They had to sit and look at the teacher and read a book, and they had to focus and apply themselves when studying homework and things like that. They came from an era where they had to sit and apply themselves in the quietness of their own room in their house, and that type of mentality to where you just give your time and your patience is what is needed to do it. It's a hobby, I think of psychokinesis as like an ancient hobby. It's a very slow, steady, progressive thing, and it requires you. It's like to be patient. It's like it's extraordinary but ordinary at the same time. Like I said, it kind of reminds me of something that is it's kind of boring. Psychokinesis is a boring thing, but it's because it's a steady, slow developing skill. It's supposed to be a circular thing where you learn to move an object. It's supposed to be self-satisfying and self gratifying and self-rewarding. It's for your own self. Just like building the airplanes and painting the airplanes is a hobby, you do it for you. You build a car, a toy metal car, you paint it, you do it for you. Psychokinesis, you do it for you. People around you may think that it's boring, but you're doing it for yourself. It's a hobby. It's something that you do to pass the time. And it reminds me of ancient times when I could imagine an ancient man sitting alone in his in the Roman era, in the darkness of his room with just a single candle, spinning a side wheel, with nothing, no music, no nothing, no TV, focusing, applying himself. It may be boring, it may be sad to people or whatever, but that is what is required. It's a very slow, steady process of development. And that's one thing that I learned from the older people that do psychokinesis, that you have to apply yourself. You have to remove ego. You can't get ahead of yourself. Psychokinesis needs to be realized as a slow, steady hobby that you must do for yourself, to please yourself. The ancients did this, but they did it as a passive hobby thing, and they progressed very well at it. But it was both extraordinary and ordinary. It's kind of in the middle. but it's something we can all do and develop. But that's how we have to look at psychokinesis. If you develop Superman skills or Neo skills, that's all good, but it takes time to get there, and you can't rush and you can't get ahead of yourself. At the same time, that being said, psychokinesis, we must think of it as this. It's a slow, steady, kind of boring, patient, applying yourself skill. Like putting together a stick house, a toy house, like a hobby set. It's something that's extraordinary but ordinary at the same time. That is how you progress psychokinesis. Watch my videos and things like that. I have psychokinesis demos if you guys are new to my channel. And that's how we have to look at it. Don't get ahead of yourself. It's just an ordinary thing. The ancients knew that. They enjoyed doing it. And that's how they approached it. With applying themselves in a realistic, honest, genuine, earnest manner. That's how they progressed.